This is called The Tuffins. It was 25 years ago at Gordon and Fee's that my waters broke suddenly and I went weak at the knees. In a pair of Fee's knickers, I headed for the door, whilst poor Uncle Gordon was left mopping the floor. Happy memories, Gordon. Our baby was coming. She'd be here real soon. So we jumped in the farm truck and off we did zoom. Gran held my hand, excited all the way. We'd waited so long for this special day. Dad drove fast, not once did he stop. And a few hours later, Aunt Jenny did pop. But it wasn't as easy as that, but... Our beautiful baby, our precious sweet girl, the joy, the love, the absolute thrill. Then, 20 years later, Jenny swiped right. And she's never regretted her decision that night. Ryan was handsome. Still is. And as they went for a walk, he made Jenny laugh, and boy, could he talk. They had so much in common, and very, very soon, we saw Jenny glow and blossom and bloom. He's the yin to her yang, the rubber to her duck. And when he proposed, we all thought, oh, that's the best news. Oh no, I have to find the next bit. Was it they say, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. There it is. Ryan is Jenny's soulmate, the love of her life, and it's so amazing that she's now his wife. He's part of our family, just fitted right in. We laugh and we joke and we make quite a din. So, sweetheart, me and Dad would just like to say we couldn't be happier on your wedding day. We instinctively know that you've done the right thing. When we see you together, it makes our hearts sing. You're incredible, Jenny. You're kind, beautiful, and clever. And we know that you and Ryan will be together forever. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's all raise our glasses to Ryan and Jen.
Cheers.
Thank you. I'm going to hand you over to Laura now, who's the Maid of Honour. Oh, Laura.
Thank you. Shall I thank you? Well, I don't need to sit, I'll stand up. So my main mission is just to not cry too much. So I'll put this down and just hope for the best. So hello, how are you all doing? Where do I start with talking about Jen? I've had the pleasure of knowing Jen since I was a small, hairy baby. And Jen, a quite angelic, blonde, less hairy baby. Jen has been a star in my life since I can remember, since our mums became friends when we were babies. She has been one of the only constants as we have grown up. It feels strange to talk about someone that we all know so much about and all love so much. I know that you're all important in Jen's life because she talks about you all so often. I see Jen crying with joy when Becky and Ethan had baby Theo, beaming with pride when Andrew set up his business. Woo! And buzzing with excitement as she watched Sienna, where are you, powerhouse, represent GB in the powerlifting championships. It's probably all online somewhere if you wanted to watch it. Jen wouldn't have invited you here if she didn't want to. If you hadn't realised one thing about Jen until now, is that Jen doesn't do things that she doesn't want to do. Do you, Jen? In fact, I struggle to name someone that is more true to their heart than Jen. Jen reads books all night if she fancies it. She goes to see the same thing multiple times at the theatre. I've seen her eat 2 pizzas in one day, despite having a gluten allergy. If Jen comes to your house and is craving ice cream and you pop to the loo to relieve yourself for a moment, you know that when you come back, there will be no rum and raisin left in your freezer. We were on the way back from a weekend away in London and we were in Paddington Station. Jen wanted to go to Hotel Chocolat, where she picked up what looked like lots of chocolate gifts. Aha! Someone's in for a treat, I thought. Who are those for, Jen? Me, she responds, as only Jen would. She's clever, she's kind, she's cheeky, she's beautiful, she's mischievous and funny. People talk about having friends. For the good times. I can't see anything. Take a breath. And friends that pick you up when you're feeling low. But Jen is not part of a 2-for-1 package. Jen has been everything that I could ever want in a friend. Gosh, it sounds awful crying into a mic. She'll organise a cracking birthday party, tell you all her crazy stories, and make you cry with laughter. And then she'll help you draft a pros and cons list as you make big decisions, and get in bed with you and eat chocolate when life feels that bit too much. I can say hand on heart that I don't think I would have made some of the best decisions of my life or got through some of the hardest times if it wasn't for you, Jen. There's a lot to learn from someone like Jenny. She sets an example of how to be strong, how to be kind, and how to be yourself. Jen accepts and appreciates people, like all of us, and loves us all as we are. And I want us to take a moment to appreciate Jenny. Jen, thank you for making us laugh, for making our worlds infinitely more funnier, brighter, and interesting. For that, we are so, so grateful. Can we have a round of applause for Jenny, please? Thank you, Jen and Ryan, so much for today. As well as today being about their love for each other, everything here is a way of Jen and Ryan showing how much they love all of you and want you to have an amazing day. Just yesterday, we were in the car and Jen was saying, I can't wait for tomorrow because everyone that's coming is just the bomb. Ryan was showing you more emotionally through the day, and Jen was more the organisational part at times. But this is a love from them both. Ryan, I don't think anybody could love and laugh with Jen more than you. What a pleasure it has been to watch you two fall in love and become best friends. And now I have you as my friend too. Your heart is enormous, and I can see the place that Jen has in it. Ryan is all that I could want for Jen in a partner, and I know that being with him feels like home for her, because she's told me. But also because I know. In finding each other, you have connected 2 groups of awesome family and friends and made them one. And that is why we are here together, and we feel closer and connected to you both and each other after watching you become husband and wife on this special day. I speak on behalf of every one of us here when I say that you will always have us and our support. We wish you a long and happy future, and we love being a part of it. Please let's raise a toast to the fantastic and beautiful Mr. and Mrs. Tuffin. We love you. Cheers. Well done, everyone. Cheers. Sorry about being a tired, emotional mess. Gosh. Yeah, it's double-sided, I'm afraid. Okay, thank you, Laura. That was really, really lovely. I'm afraid that my speech is pretty gushy. But you've all got no choice other than to sit and listen to me. So you're all going to have to endure some soppiness before we move on to the laughs a bit later on. So without further ado, firstly, I'd like to say a really big thank you to each and every one of you in this room today. You're all such beautiful people, and spending today with us celebrating love literally means the world. There's nothing like the feeling of addressing a room full of your favourite people, and we are so very grateful to every single one of you. We're really incredibly lucky to have been blessed with so many wonderful souls, to have had and who continue to have such a huge impact on both of our lives. So honestly, thank you from the bottom of both of our hearts. Okay, so to May and Len, the beautiful parents of my beautiful Maid of Honour, Laura, thank you so much for lending us your tandem bicycle and for entrusting us to keep good care of it. And we're so grateful that you let us borrow it to make our very first, albeit very short, journey as a married couple. So thank you. To Ryan's best man, Jake. Thank you for throwing Ryan a stag to remember, or one that he will remember up until a certain point anyway. More importantly, thank you for looking after him and for bringing him home to me, alive and in one piece, even if he was a little bit worse for wear and probably most likely had sunstroke. Thank you for the support and friendship that you've shown to Ryan over the years, and also for welcoming me with such ease and warmth to also be considered a friend of your own. I kind of get upset. Oh, God. Oh, I'm like barely a quarter of the way through. Okay. Thank you to my two gorgeous brothers, Sam and Tom, whom I'm so incredibly lucky to have shared such a happy childhood with. You are two people who I continue to cherish as we all now navigate adulthood together. Don't cry. Thank you for all the help that you've given Ryan and I during the preparations for this wedding day. And thank you, Sam, for your beautiful sea shanties performed earlier this afternoon, adding a little something extra to our special day. I'm so grateful. You are both such amazing young men, and I'm so very lucky and so very proud to be your sister. I love you both. Oh, God. Right, to my 5 beautiful bridesmaids, Laura, Ziana, Tamsin, Lydia, and Becky, and I also wanted to include our lovely groomswoman, Shannon, here too. I'm so thankful that I get to live my life during the same lifetime as the 6 of you. Thank you for putting up with my incessant WhatsApp messaging, asking you to provide silly photos for Guess Who, and springing various wedding surprises on you. Thank you for being patient with me when I became a bubbling mess of bridal stress. Thank you for offering me support, for calming me down, for building me up, and for always being my biggest cheerleaders. Well, I've lost my place. But beyond just bridesmaid duties, thank you also for being my friends. I've known some of you for a very long time, and others I've been lucky enough to have found as a result of meeting Ryan. Some of my favourite memories have been those that I've made with each of you. You listen to me whenever I need an ear. You counsel me whenever I ask for advice. You act silly with me and don't take life too seriously. You fall in love with fictional men written by women with me. You bring me food when I'm not feeling my best, because yes, that is the way to my heart, and Ryan will do well to remember that. You understand me when I'm not always making rational sense.
It is rare to find the types of friendships that we have, and I'm so very lucky to have found that something special with each of you. Oh, I do not have a sister by blood, but you are all sisters to me in my heart, and I love you all very much. Okay. Okay, to Rachel and Adrian, otherwise now known as Mr. and Mrs. Tuffin Senior.
Or Mum and Dad.
Your mum and dad, thank you for being Ryan's role models. Thank you for raising a man who has changed my life for the better in so many ways. Thank you for all the love, support and guidance that you've given him over the years. For teaching him what it is to love and be loved. For showing him how to treat a woman. And for demonstrating how important it is for a relationship to be filled with laughter. Thank you for all your support during our wedding planning and beyond. And thank you also for welcoming me into your family and making me feel as though it was where I was always supposed to be. We're both very lucky to have you and we love you lots. Oh my God, I'm an absolute mess. Oh gosh, oh no. This is going to be the worst part, I think. Oh, let's strap in. Next to my mum and dad. Oh, I don't think the two of you actually know just how special you are. I feel so overwhelmingly lucky to have been born with you two for parents and to have ended up with two best friends. You gave me a childhood full of so many smiles and so much fun. You have shown me firsthand the foundations not only a great marriage is built on, but that which a great family is built on. And you have done such a fantastic job. I mean, Exhibit A. Thank you. You have taught me how important it is to listen to each other and how crucial it is to make quality time for one another. You've taught me that being in a loving and trusting relationship should be easy. And I have always aspired to find a love like yours. We're halfway, guys, okay? Because of the love that you show to me and to each other, by extension, you have taught me how to love both tenderly and copiously. I will forever be thankful for your support, your guidance, your pride, your love, your laughter, your trust, and your patience. Thank you for all that you've done and all you continue to do, not only for me, but now for Ryan and Percy too. An especially big thank you to my super dad for making mine and Ryan's wedding rings. That's right, he made them, people. They are extra special because of it, and just one more reason why we will treasure these rings forever. And finally, an even bigger thank you for unknowingly starting the tradition of asking your girlfriend's dad for his daughter's hand in marriage through none other than the bathroom door. We hope any of our future children will continue this tradition going forwards, just as Ryan continued it with you, by asking for your blessing, Dad, whilst you were busy having a piss. I love you guys. Okay, finally, to my husband. What? Where to even begin? I feel like the luckiest girl in the world to have found you. You really are the best thing to have ever happened to me. It almost feels as though the years before we met never even happened, because it feels like you've always been a part of me, and I can't imagine life without you. Most of you will be aware that Ryan and I met on Tinder. That's what the matchboxes are for, in case you didn't know. I was Ryan's very first match. So did he stop swiping when he realised he'd met the creme de la creme of Tinder? Yes. Or did he just settle for the first gal to show him interest? I guess we'll never know, but it's definitely the former. Okay, moving on. Whilst mine and Ryan's first date was all right, I originally gave it a score of 5 out of 10. And I was actually considering not going on a second. In fact, I actually went as far to unmatch Ryan on Tinder. And it took me experiencing a really terrible date with somebody else to make me realise how good our first date actually was. Even if Ryan did choose to ask what my saddest memory was, like, not appropriate, but... Anyway, our second date went brilliantly, and the rest, as they say, is history. But do I wish Ryan hadn't told his parents that I'd taken him dogging up Ham Hill before I'd even had a chance to meet them and make a good first impression? Yes, I do wish that. That's not true, by the way. I did not take Ryan dogging. But did there happen to be doggers present at the time I tried to take Ryan on a romantic drive up to Ham Hill to watch the sunset? Yes, there did happen to be doggers present. And did they want to watch us? Yeah, I think they did. We weren't doing anything, just to clear that up. Now, I'm not sure how many women are surprised when the other half gets down on one knee. But given the fact that I took the afternoon off of work, shall we? The day before to go and get my nails done, just in case, I think we can safely say that I was not surprised. Not at all. The last 5.5 years have been some of my favourite years lived. And though it's not always been plain sailing, something which has always been a constant is you. We've been to some amazing places and experienced some fantastic things and made some of the best memories together. Kissing in the dark and the rain atop Glastonbury Festival's Ribbon Tower, that first night we told each other we loved each other for the first time. Living in absolute bliss on the seafront of Kefalonia. Getting ripped off by the street hustlers of the ever beautiful Florence. And getting way too much food stolen by seagulls in St. Ives. Taking far too many trips to landscape gardens until we eventually realised that we're actually just not that into landscape gardens. Re-proposing to each other whilst on a trip away to the New Forest. Rowing along the River Avon in the Cotswolds on what should have been our original wedding date last year. We've survived a global pandemic together. We've survived catching that pesky virus together. And we've survived both of us living with your parents and both of us living with mine. From buying our first house together to raising our wonderful terror of a dog together. We've planned, postponed, and then replanned a wedding. Wait, no, sorry, correction. I've planned, postponed, and replanned a wedding. Ryan's name is just on all the invites. No matter what life throws our way, I know that I have you. And that we're in this together. You are always there for me, whether it's whilst I'm having an emotional breakdown over not wanting to be an adult with grown-up responsibilities or whatever, or whether it's making my nighttime cup of green tea before I go to bed, or steaming mug of coffee for me to wake up to in the morning. You treat me like a queen, and never a day goes by where I am not certain just how much you love me. You have one of the most golden souls I've ever had the pleasure to indulge in. You are so special, Ryan. You make me the best version of myself, and I hope that I do the same for you. I love that we laugh with each other. May that laughter between us never ever cease. I love that if one of us says jump, the other says how high. I love that you choose to share in my experiences whenever I find something that I love, just as I do yours. And I know that because of this, our adventures are only just beginning, and I cannot wait to see what life has in store for us. You're my favourite human, and I love you so much. You are the Jim to my Pam, the Reeson to my Feyre, the Chandler to my Monica, and you also happen to be the owner of my favourite peachy ass. So, cheers to you. Cheers to the best that is yet to come. Oh, I've done that wrong. Ignore that bit, right? Hang on. Backtrack. Whoop. Cheers to us. Cheers to the best that is yet to come. And cheers to you. To my husband, to my Mr. Tuffin, to my Ryan. To Ryan! Cheers. And who am I introducing? Sam! Sam and Tom! Whoop whoop!
Okay.
Can I stand here, please?
We've got a little sign so you all know what to do when. Hello! For those of you who don't know us, we are Sam and Tom, Jenny's younger, and let's face it, far less beautiful brothers. Jen, we're so lucky to have such a kind-hearted... such a kind-hearted and caring sister who's just always overflowing with love and who, along with Mum and Dad, is a role model for how to live life. You also have great music taste. I mean, that band earlier was just the creme de la creme. Jenny is so loving that she thrives on other people's joy. I mean, honestly, we've never met anyone who loves spoiling other people so much more than being spoiled themselves. Life's about giving, not receiving, and man, if Jenny does not have this down to a T, Christmas with Jen is great. In fact, she's so kind that she once dressed up a much younger me as a girl from down the street. And we proceeded to surprise said girl with like this gold doily wig thing that I wore in place of her blonde hair. And what I think, looking back, was probably quite an unflattering impression of her. Thanks to Jen, I got my first foray into the drag scene, and not the last. Mrs. Dismal's long overdue your return, am I right? We really can't overstate just how happy Jen makes us feel whenever she's around. She just lights up any room she's in. And this aspect of her personality became all the more stronger when she met Ryan. It gets said a lot, but they honestly do bring out the best in each other. Ryan matches Jen's fabulously silly energy perfectly, and he's just as funny. In fact, just as, not more, just as. In fact, whenever Ryan would visit, we could often overhear Jenny screaming with laughter from her room. To this day, we still don't know what they were doing in there. Her laughter was heartwarming to hear. Just the loudest you've ever heard anyone laugh. Think Jimmy Carr crossed with Auntie Sarah. Ryan has been a part of the family for so long now, always playing games with us, teasing us, and just doing what he does best, being a massive kid. He genuinely already feels like an older brother to us. He's been such a pleasure to get to know, and we've never seen Jenny happier than when they're together. We're both so glad that they found each other. Aww. And for the record, I think I told him something similar once, and later that day he proposed, so you're welcome, I guess, Jen.
So if you'll join us in making a toast to even more laughter to come to the bride and groom. Cheers. I don't have a drink on me.
You're handing over to Dad.
I will be passing over to Dad, the father of the bride. There you go.
Thank you very much, guys. Right, welcome to family and friends I've yet to meet. After all that food, which is amazing, I think we should all start with some exercise. I'd like to raise a toast to thank all of you here today And to those that can't be, to absent friends. To absent friends. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Andy, and I'm father of this amazing bride here, Jenny. I'm a very proud father of Jenny. And, as father of the bride, I have the dubious pleasure of making the first speech, well, so I thought. But I'm down the pecking order. I'm therefore the warm-up act for the star speakers, the groom, Ryan, and best man, Jake. I can't tell you how proud I am to be here today. It's customary, I know, for all fathers to say this, but I can't believe there's ever been a prouder dad. Nor one with so much to be proud about. Kate and I have taken delight in watching Jenny grow from a tiny baby into the beautiful young lady you see here today. Seeing her grow and develop into such a special woman has given me and her mum nothing but pride. Your mum and I are aware of just how blessed we are to have you in our lives, Jen, and we know you're aware of just how much we love you and how proud we are of the lovely young lady that you've become. It's been an absolute joy to watch a very talkative, extremely inquisitive little girl blossom into the beautiful, clever, compassionate, extremely loving young lady that you've become. And it's my privilege to walk you down the aisle today. As a young girl, Jen was as bright as a button and absorbed information like a sponge. She used to love us reading a bedtime story to her, but it wasn't long before she was reading one to us. Academically, Jen thrived at school. She was also part of the school chess team, played hockey, netball, rounders. Excuse me. I've lost my place now. She's also loved to perform in the village pantos, which Julia alluded to earlier, and blew everybody away one year with the laughing policeman. Yeah.
Dance out now.
Knock it out. When Jen turned 17, she couldn't wait to learn to drive. Now this presented a challenge to me, as I didn't know where was the best place and safe place to take her to learn. So I picked a lane on the Somerset levels, believing it to be the quietest road. And I was pulled over, parked up, put the L plates on, went through the fundamentals of what you're meant to do. But, and this is where I fell down, I didn't explain just how much leverage you're supposed to put on the steering wheel. But the car was facing the direction of travel. Anyway, Jen chose the right-hand option, and we went scooting across the road, up the bank, into a signpost. I wasn't sure who was more shocked, Jen or me. But mind you, there was a cyclist coming towards us, who was also shocked. And it turned out to be Jen's physics teacher from school, Mr. McSparron. And to this day, the signpost is still bent. It's never been repaired.
That's my legacy.
Yeah. But she turned out to be a fast learner, as well as a fast driver. And she passed her test first time. She bought herself a car and never looked back. Life suddenly opened up, and she would always be picking up her friends, going to the beach or up to Ham Hill to chill out and hang out. Then a few years later, Jen upgraded to her second car. Though maybe upgraded is not quite the right word. She found a second car online and made a few rookie errors. She went out late at night to view this this car on the spur of the moment. Second, it was cold, wet, raining. And third, she took a mum. Well-known expert in cars. Needless to say, they came home a few hours later very pleased with themselves. I went out to have a look, and I couldn't believe what I saw. This car was souped up to within an inch of its life. With lowered suspension, big wheels, go faster stripes. Yeah. Oh dear. You get the picture anyway. Next morning we tried to insure it. And the insurance company just laughed and laughed and laughed and said, no. Sorry, young lady, we can't insure that car. So anyway, had to then go and source some new wheels, get suspension sorted out. It didn't become the bargain of the century after that. Jen met Ryan some 5 years ago, and she brought him home to meet us. It was very clear what a lovely, personal young man he is. He was confident, or understanding bricking it, when Jen introduced us. I mean, why wouldn't he be? The house suddenly became filled with the sound of the two of them laughing together. Jen blossomed and her confidence grew. We knew she was happy with Ryan. As a parent, that's all one can ask for. I know it's customary for dads to offer the newlyweds some advice. Some pearls of wisdom gleaned from many long years of experience and my own happy marriage. I can't offer much advice, though, except this. Be kind, be true, and stay friends with each other, always. To Ryan, knowing Jen as I do, when you're wrong, admit it. And when you're right, stay silent. Jen, there's so much more I'd like to say about you. But I believe that my time is up. You look incredible today. You're a beautiful woman and a wonderful daughter. You have married a terrific man. And you will make a fantastic wife. Ryan, welcome to the family. Jenny and Ryan, the world is entirely yours. And it's only you who will determine its rules. I'm sure that you will build a reliable family home, your safe haven where you will feel happy and at ease, which will give you strength to withstand the storms and challenges of life ahead. On this journey, let me wish you only love and good fortune. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding. As it is my pleasant duty to propose a toast to the happy couple. Here's to the past for all that you've learned. Here's to the present for all that you share. Here's to the future for all that you look forward to together. Please raise your glasses. Jenny and Ryan, the bride and groom.
Bride and groom.
Yeah, bride and groom. I'm now going to hand over to best man Jake, and I'm sure he's going to fill you with a few stories of Ryan. Yeah, he's got this nailed.
Oh, here we go. All right, now forgive me in advance for the shakes. I don't like public speaking, but I've had a few drinks, so we're going to do our best and see what we can do. I can't promise I'm going to cry either, but, I think Sam's got that covered for all of us. No, I've left it on the table. Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. Oh, yeah, I got it. It's going to be great. So for those of you who don't know me, who I didn't introduce myself to on the door, my name's Jake. I'm the best man. I've known Ryan for about 14 years, or it feels like it could have been about 37. He doesn't half wind me up the wall, but here I am. Anyway. Now, I understand that when he made this decision about who was going to be his best man, it can't have been an easy one. I look around and I see a lot of really nice gents in the room, and I'm sure they're pretty much all his friends, or at least a family he probably felt obligated to invite, but there you go. So when he started making this decision, he first called his smartest friend. Didn't get the answer he wanted, so he called his funniest and then his most handsome friend, and he still didn't get the answer he wanted. So what did he do next? He called me. I did ask him why he called me 3 bloody times already, and then he said he needed his smartest, most handsome and funniest friend to do his best man. So of course I accepted, and here we are. Now, a very understandable reaction to this was complete panic. I absolutely myself when he asked me to be his best man, because you can't say no. You just can't say no. So don't get me wrong, I was very happy for him, and I still am, and today has been absolutely wonderful. But I also hate you at the same time, because I'm still up here talking in front of a bunch of people that I've never met before. Yeah, I would say sorry, but with what's to come, fair is fair. I'm not going to say sorry. It's just not worth it. It'd be a waste of time. Now, I think the perfect place to start in terms of telling stories about Ryan would be our stag. Only a couple of weeks ago, but I like to think he's recovered since then. Oh yeah, lots of drinking rules, don't forget that one. You were very good at them, by the way. Or did we just not call you up on them? Once. Well, we'll see about that. How far away? Oh, no, you're all right, yeah. So we went off to Exeter for the day. We went and did lots of football and foot golf and all this kind of stuff. Blaring hot, mind you. And then we went out and had loads of drinks. Now, obviously, as a stag do, customary, you had to have a costume. There just had to be. Now, if you're lucky, maybe later you'll see the T-shirts that the fellow stags were wearing. 1 or 2 of them have very kindly brought them with them. I have also brought them with them. Maybe they'll make an appearance. But Ryan's costume was far less favourable. Now, to avoid being sued by one of these big companies, I'm going to say it was an off-brand Oasis princess outfit. Rather scantily, very, very thin, showed you all the things you really didn't want to see. But being in Exeter on a Saturday night, he got loads of attention. Wolf whistles as you walk down the street, free drinks, and I'm pretty sure he slipped in a nip slip or 2 for someone. Not difficult in what he was wearing. But it was a brilliant night. And from what I've heard from everybody had a great time. So at least it takes the pressure off me a little bit. But the next morning, he was a princess no longer. Now, I hope I never have to see again what I saw that morning. It was not pretty. Now, to avoid the specific details, I'm going to tell you he was a state. Now, I'm talking can't walk, can't talk, barely conscious, throwing up anything and everything we gave him. To the point where we had to make sure he was watched all night so he didn't die. Now, one of my jobs is obviously to make sure he has a great time, but it's also to get him home in one piece. Now, I did that, but it wasn't pleasant. To this day, I have not yet had an email from the hotel charging me for the state of that room. But if I do, they would be very justified. I will be giving it to you. That was a joke. Now, one thing is that I hope there's at least one person on every table who has access to all these pictures. If you haven't seen them already, please ask. If there is no one on your table, please come and find me afterwards and I will show you.
There's a photo album.
Oh my word. You can tell how out of touch I am. But yeah, even if you want to see them, I can show you them. They're probably a little bit indecent to share on a big TV screen, so yeah, that's all right. Me and Ryan, unsurprisingly, have known each other for a very, very long time. Now, the other day I actually worked out how far along it was. It's about 14 years. So sorry to make some of you feel very, very old. We were 12 when we met, and that was year 8. I can't say we were friends right off the start. To be honest, I really don't remember that far back. But we probably weren't, let's be honest. But over the course of the years, we've obviously gone very, very much closer. And here I am today. So I've obviously done something very, very right. Now, it would be really easy for me to tell you he hasn't changed in 14 years. But there are a couple things that have changed. He was a very skinny, scrawny, clean-shaven or couldn't grow facial hair, chocolate-eating little child, and that has been replaced by a slightly taller, most definitely chunkier, bearded chocolate-eating child that is now sat in front of us. Honestly, the amount of money he must have spent walking down to like Co-op or something on our lunch is ridiculous. You could have done anything with that. One of the earliest memories I actually have of Ryan was a wedding party, almost to the day, about 10 years ago. Now, as I found out later, obviously we were 16 at the time, we were not quite as discreet as I had remembered. We were all staying in a bunch of tents, up in a couple gardens, and we decided to steal any kind of drinks we could from the main party. As teenagers, you don't want to hang around with adults all day, do you? Oh, we still here? Oh, we're good. So we would take anything we could grab, bottles, cans, open drinks, mixed whatever, and take it up to the tent. Next morning we had to clear it all up, it was a mess. Anyway, obviously the next morning, Ryan doesn't do very well with alcohol. Not at all. Oh my word, I'm breaking everything. Closer? Yeah? Right, okay. He was a mess. He was sat under the one remaining marquee on one of those plastic chairs looking very sad, very unhappy. And I offered him a bacon sandwich. Now, he almost threw up on the spot. But what I eventually learned is, one, he's very picky about what kind of food he eats. And number two, he can't hold his alcohol. Now, that was a theme that would persist over at least the next 10 years. And I'm sure it will continue for many, many more. Which leads me on to my next one. A theme when Ryan gets drunk is he likes to talk about his girlfriends. Now, several years ago, this was at a point where Ryan hadn't had a girlfriend yet. He liked to have a few drinks and then complain that he was never going to get a girlfriend. The irony of today is not lost on anyone. Now, one particular moment, and he already knows it's coming because we tell this story every single time. We were all hanging out one night, bunch of us, and we suddenly heard this loud thudding noise. Didn't know what it was. I checked a couple of rooms and couldn't see anyone making the noise. And then I go to the bottom of the stairs to find Ryan smacking his heels against the back of the stairs, singing, "I'm never gonna get a girlfriend. I'm never gonna get a girlfriend." Now, this was completely ridiculous for a number of reasons. One, he'd already had something to drink, and two, he was 16. But just to make a point, like I said, it's almost 10 years to the day. Have a look. There is, 60, 70 people here? You are now Mr. and Mrs. Tuffin? What a load of shit that was. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't say at least something about Jenny. Now, Ryan and his eventual girlfriends, we met a couple of them up until he met Jenny. But the first night that everyone was back in town, we met for dinner. And what does he do? He invites Jenny straight away. Now, I don't know how long they've been dating at this point, but she just suddenly shows up. She's all friendly and chatty, as we all know Jenny to be. And from that moment, you could tell something was very different. We had met girlfriends before, and maybe it was the idea we were all still in school together. Maybe it was that we'd kind of all moved on a little bit and grown up, but something was very different. We good now? Yeah? Karen? Yeah? Jenny has actually been rather too friendly when it comes to me. Now, I know my job is to embarrass the groom, but there is a story, and the reaction probably tells you enough, that Jenny once had a very inappropriate dream about yours truly. Somehow, I was still asked to be the best man. Jenny, eyes front and centre, please. That was worth it. I'm gonna regret that one, but that was worth it. Oh, come on, I had to. So what do you expect? But if I be completely honest, she is absolutely lovely. It was never in doubt. Never, ever, ever in doubt. Now, not only is she lovely, but all of the family that I've met, probably over the last 2 days, for the most part, have also been very lovely. Now, I haven't actually met them much beforehand, maybe once or twice. I'm not allowed in the Tuffin household. Although I remember actually being told when I got there that Ryan had described me very much differently to how I looked. I remember I was a long-haired, tattooed stoner. And as you can quite clearly see, I'm none of those things. So thanks for that, but I'm not allowed in the household for a completely different reason. Now, as today has got closer and closer, yes, we have waited several years for today, the finer details have been worked out, mainly by Jenny. A couple of weeks ago, we started meeting up just to kind of work on speeches, orders, who was going to say what, who was going to thank who. And to be completely honest, I still have absolutely no idea who I am supposed to thank. So, rather than embarrass myself and just try and remember everyone's names, because I honestly can't do it, I would like to thank absolutely everybody. Not for showing up, because it was a free meal, so what are you not going to do? But for not taking the piss out of me while I stand up here and try and say something nice. I appreciate it. And before you ask, yes, I would love a drink. Yeah, please, feel free. I haven't got a problem with it. So if you would all join me for the second to last time in a toast to, it feels very weird to say this now, Mr. and Mrs. Tuffin. No, unfortunately, it is Ryan next. Sorry.
I did have it written down here, thank you, Jake, but we'll scratch that bit. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for taking the time to come out here today and watch Jenny, my wife, make the best decision of her life. Lots of you have travelled a long way, and it is much appreciated. Even if it was for the 3-course meal, it's still appreciated, so we're all good. Thank you, Dillington, for being so great and allowing us to use this fantastic venue. It is truly stunning. I just, for a brief moment, wanted to mention the ones that couldn't be here today and are no longer with us. I hope that they are smiling down on us today and gleaming with pride. So, right, Stokes parents. I've always felt blessed to be lucky enough to have a mother and father that loves and cares for me. I never in a million years thought I'd be lucky enough to marry into having another. The first time Jenny showed me to you was a video of me pretending to stop CGI created rain. So I knew I had a long way to go to win your approval. However, from playing golf to getting into heated debates at birthday dinners, I can honestly say that I'm glad to be an honorary member of the Stokes family. I don't see this day as two families merging, as you've made me feel so welcome since the very beginning, and I just see this as putting it formally in writing. You are probably the two individuals I need to thank the most. You have raised such an amazing daughter who is compassionate, intelligent, and occasionally funny.
I'm always funny.
But most of all, full of so much love. And it is the love that you've shown her every day of her life that she now shares with me. So I literally cannot thank you enough. Now to my own parents. Thank you for always being there over the years. You are amazing parents who have tolerated me, accepted me, cared for me, and have never made me feel unsupported. Thank you for instilling in me whatever it was that convinced Jenny that she wanted to marry me. I'm not sure what it was, but I know that it came from your genes and your guidance through life that made me such a catch. Thank you for always being there and available whenever I needed you guys, like ironing this shirt today. And taking me to the airport in the middle of the night when I met the Stokes in Kefalonia. You have shown me the best at what a marriage is, and I hope that I've done you guys proud and that you know that me and your new daughter-in-law will always be there for you guys as you have been for us. Jake. I don't know if I want to say this now. There was never a question as to who my best man would be. I always knew Jake would be the man for the job, and I was correct. You have helped so much in making this day special and have been integral to helping me become the man marrying this gorgeous woman today. Thank you for organising the stag do. It was truly amazing. And thank you for keeping me semi-alive to tell the tale. Jake knew from the first time that he met Jenny that I was truly happy and that he has been the biggest advocate for us. Even going so far as to say that he likes Jenny more than me, which is untrue. Thank you for being my best man and for being up there with me today. Shannon, on the other hand, did not get the best first impression of Jenny. This was because I told her about how bad our first date was. Not long after, Shannon then spotted Jenny and I in Wetherspoons. Not knowing Jenny at this point, or what she looked like, Shannon quietly whispered to me and said, "That's not the bad girl, date girl, right?" That's of which I lied and said no. So Shannon, sorry for giving you such a bad impression, but I'm sure that Jenny has gone above and beyond in changing that. Thank you for being a groomswoman today. You look incredible and have helped tremendously, including you and Jake helping me with the vows that I wrote. Mostly you. To Jenny's brothers. You are groomsmen today not because you are Jenny's brothers. You are groomsmen today because since being in my life, you have made me feel like I can call you brothers of my own. Your support for my wife and I have been incredible over the years. Tom, yours came a little bit later when you stopped threatening to kill me. But you both have shown so much love towards us, and I cannot wait to share more moments with the both of you in the future. To the bridesmaids, thank you all for being here today. You all look absolutely gorgeous. I would like to give a future thank you to the bridesmaids because you are going to be the ones that have to hear Jenny complaining about me. And you're going to be the shoulder for her to regret her decision on. So thank you. And to Jenny, I'll give you a brief history lesson of me and Jenny. So most people are aware that we met on Tinder, and Jenny was my first match. And you only need one match to find the person that you're to settle down with, sorry, Jenny. When I first met Jenny, I was nervous, and I'd never been on a date with a stranger before. So I might have said a few comments that seemed a bit weird, such as, "I thought you'd be shorter." And "What is your saddest memory?" But still, she was willing to go on another date.
Oh, dear.
Me and Jenny then proceeded to text, video call, basically every day. And it meant that anything and everything we shared, and that was the best part of my day, was coming home and sharing those events with her. I was scrolling through some of our earlier texts when writing this speech and discovered a large proportion of them was Jenny begging for my attention, which is a complete role reversal to today, where now I am second to whatever book she's reading or when she's doing a voice note with her gals. Then we went through a bit of a rough patch. It got to the point where Jenny's mum, Katie, unfriended me on Facebook. However, in June 2017, I planned to tell romantically that I loved her at Glastonbury, listening to Ed Sheeran. However, after an argument at Glastonbury about Jen's frequent and mistimed toilet trips, I told her then and there to stop her from crying. After that, we went from strength to strength, telling each other that we loved them every day and saving for a house, and even Katie refriended me. On the 18th of April 2019, over 3 years ago, Jenny asked if I wanted to play I Spy. So I turned around and said, I spy with my little eye something beginning with W. We got down to the bridge at Prior Park, and she still not guessed, so I bent down and said, will you marry me? We then planned a wedding, bought a house, took home a puppy, and we've loved every minute since. Jenny, there's not a day that goes by that I do not think of you. You are the rock that holds us together. No, literally, you do everything. I've never laughed so much as I do when I'm with you, albeit at my own jokes. Mostly, though, I've never had so much fun with anyone else other than you. You have the power to make the most boring of things interesting, funny, and stupid. I love it when we're together because we're like a rubbish comedy double act that no one else finds funny. If I can, I'd like to end with some advice from a man called Henry Youngman. He goes, some people ask, what is the secret of a long marriage? Take time to go to a restaurant 2 times a week. A little candlelight dinner, soft music, and dancing. She'll go on Tuesday, you go on Friday. Can we all raise our glasses to my gorgeous wife? You are my past, my present, and my future, and I can't wait to see where our life takes us. Cheers.
Cheers.